Okay. Okay, hello again, boys and girls. So we've done part A, part B, and now we're going on to part C. So in part B, remember you should have written down now this scenario. Miss Neely's class needs 5 gallons of punch for family math night. How much of each unit of capacity is equivalent to 5 gallons of punch? Okay, so like I said, you've already had that down. Now let's try to find these equivalencies. And these equivalencies is what we talked about in the beginning of our lesson with our objective, trying to find equivalencies for cups, pints, quarts, and gallons. So we know Miss Neely has 5 gallons of punch that she wanted to give at the math family night. So we're going to start off first by how many gallons are in 4 quarts. So we know that there are 4 quarts in a gallon. So we will multiply that 1 times 4, and then that would give us there the 4 quarts. Now, in our quart, remember, there are 2 pints in every quart. So we multiply 4 quarts times the 2 pints, and that would give us 8 pints. We know that there were 2 cups that we could pour into 1 pint. So if we have 8 of those pints, you multiply that by 2 cups, and then that would give you 16 cups. So we know so far that 1 gallon is equivalent to 4 quarts. 4 quarts is equivalent to 8 pints. 8 pints is equivalent to 16 cups. Okay? Now, what are the equivalencies for 2 gallons? So to go from, once again, convert from gallons to quarts, we know that there are 4 quarts in every gallon. So 2 times 4 quarts will give you 8 quarts. We also know that there are 2 pints in every quart. So if we multiply 8 quarts times 2 pints, right? That would give you 16 pints. Now, we know that there are 2 cups in every pint. So, in order to convert, we will multiply 16 pints times 2 cups, and that will give you 32 cups. So now we know that in 2 gallons, that's 2 of these. In 2 gallons, we have 8 quarts. We can put 16 pints or 32 cups. They all are equivalent, or they all mean the same thing. So now what we're doing, let's suppose we have 3 of these gallons, right? So we have 3 gallons. How many of those quarts are in 3 gallons? Once again, we know that there are 4 quarts to a gallon. So 3 quarts, 3 gallons times 5 quarts, that would give you a total of 12 quarts. Now, so to go from 12 quarts, how many pints is that? We know again that there are 2 pints for every quart. So if we have 12 quarts, 12 quarts times 2 pints, that would give you an equivalent of 24 pints there. Now, to go from 24 pints, how many cups are in 24 pints? Once again, we know that there are 2 cups in every pint. So if we have 24 pints, then we multiply 24 pints times 2 cups, and that will give you 48 cups. So now we know that in 3 gallons there are 12 quarts, there are 24 pints, there are 48 cups. They all mean the same thing. They all are equivalent. Okay? Now, we're looking at this gallon again. Now let's pretend we have 4 of these gallons. Okay? And how many quarts are in 4 gallons? Once again, we know that there are 4 quarts to every gallon. So if that is the case, we multiply 4 gallons times 4 quarts, and that would give you an equivalency of 16 quarts. So let's say that now that we have 16 of these quarts. We have 16 of these. This is what we're talking about, 16 quarts. And we want to convert or change to an equivalency of how many pints? Well, once again, we know that there are 2 pints in every quart. So if there's 2 pints in every quart, how many pints will equal 16 quarts? So when we multiply 16 times 2, that will give you a total of 32 pints. Now, so we have the pint. We're talking about this pint. Pretend you have 32 of these pints, okay? 32 of them, okay? Now we have 5 gallons. We have 32 pints. How many cups are those? Well, we know that there are 2 cups in every pint. So how many cups would that be? 32 times 2 cups. That would give you 64 cups. So what we're saying is 4 gallons is equal to 16 quarts. 4 gallons and 16 quarts is equal to 32 pints. 4 gallons, 16 quarts, and 32 pints is equal to 64 cups. They all mean the same thing. They all are what we say are equivalent. So finally, we're getting down to Miss Neely's class and talking about what does it take to be equivalent gallons, quarts, pints, and cups of this math family night of punch when we're dealing with 5 gallons. That was the question that Miss Neely's class had asked. Okay, so let's just pretend that we have these 5 gallons again. So we have 5 of these gallons. And we want to know how many quarts are in 5 gallons. Once again, you should be able to see a pattern. 4 quart, 4 quart, 4 quart, 4 quart. So we know that there are 4 quarts in a gallon. So if we have 5 gallons, 5 times 4 quarts, that means there are a total of 20 quarts in 5 gallons. And so now we take the quart and we want to convert or change as an equivalent or meaning the same. How many pints are in 20 quarts? We should see a pattern again now. 2 pints, 2 pints, 2 pints, 2 pints. So we know that there are 2 pints in every quart. So if we have 20 quarts, how many pints does that equal up to? Well, we can multiply 20 quarts times 2 pints. That would give us a total of 40 pints. And finally, if we have 40 pints and we want to know what's the equivalent, or what's the same, how many cups equal up to 40 pints? Here we see the pattern. 2 cups, 2 cups, 2 cups, 2 cups. So we know that there are 2 cups in every pint. So if that's the case, which we know that is true, you multiply 40 pints times 2 cups, and that will give you a total of 80 cups. So to answer Miss Neely's question about how much punch will be equivalent in 5 gallons when you're trying to find the equivalency of gallons, quarts, pints, and cups, in 5 gallons, you will find out 5 gallons mean the same thing as 20 quarts. 5 gallons and 20 quarts means the same thing as 40 pints. And 5 gallons, 20 quarts, and 40 pints means the same thing as 80 cups. So this concludes part C, boys and girls. And part D, in a few seconds, we're going to analyze 2 students' work, and then we're going to say if you agree or disagree with those 2 students.